Again?
No.
Why do I feel that you're tense?
No, I'm fine. You see, I was just restless all...
Now, the country is going through a very unique moment, and in the middle of all this, at the heart of it, is this man, Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, who is facing an ejection from office. And in some cases, you will find him in different spaces One, you may find him looking downtrodden, looking overwhelmed, or even taken aback by what's happening. In some cases, you'll see the man who called himself the truthful man taking to the microphone, taking to podiums and platforms and speaking his truth, the truth that to some has put him in this pickle of opposition right now. And this is making him face ejection from office. He is a man who has said he professes the Christian faith, and amid all the turmoil, he has found himself going to pulpits, altars, and even to churches where he seeks prayers, to a point of humility where he will kneel before the congregation, seeking prayers and intervention from the good Lord. In other cases, he who calls himself the son of the mountain and is seeking to be, the kingpin of the mountain, will go and face Mount Kenya, either figuratively or even literally, as he seeks intervention, because at this point, he seems to need all the support he can get, be it from the mountain, from the Lord, from the legislators, or from whoever else. We have the latest on that, and also the greatest mountain that is facing the country right now, one of the greatest, which is the Social Health Authority matter, which is still a big mountain that is yet to be surmounted. The highlights. Tonight,
my spirit is more emboldened, my heart is more fortified. I shall continue to lobby for good governance and accountability.
The government of the day made all efforts to make sure that it does not speak to the media. And that is why in the bush to address the media.
Abducted and bugged. Activist Bob Njagi narrates his abduction ordeal and says the police are constantly stalking him. Tonight,
serikali mko wapi?
Many patients on their own amid SHA rollout. Nandi County residents left to their devices as staff at Kapsabet Referral Hospital down their tools. Plus,
the Senate will therefore proceed the investigation of the proposed mover from office by impeachment of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua.
Gachagua's multi-bet chance to keep his job. Rigaji's date with senators set as court consolidates 20 petitions seeking to stop the impeachment trial. And
you guys are wonderful.
Nyinyi watu ya media, una pahali mutatupeleka?
In love with the media when they need it, but trash it when they're safe. Politicians and their inconsistent perception of the media on NTV tonight.
Live from Nation Center, this is NTV Tonight with Dan Mwangi.
Tonight, alongside me on the sign language interpretation is David Agondoa. Activist and leader of the Free Kenya movement, Bob Njagi, has broken his silence on his 32-day abduction ordeal, during which he opened up on how he was held in a tiny dark room and tortured. The activist gave an emotional account of his harrowing 32-day abduction, breaking down in tears as he recounted the torture he endured. Njagi says he was isolated from the outside world in a 6-by-6 feet room and was denied food for 2 days. And as NTV's Rosa Angoi reports, despite the torture, the activist says that he is ready to forgive the abductors, but he plans to sue the state.
Activist Bob Njagi, accompanied by his fellow activists, held a press conference in Kitengela where he recounted the terrifying experience. Njagi, while narrating his ordeal, revealed he was abducted in Mlolongo on August 19th while traveling in a matatu. The activist explained 4 masked men approached him and accused him of carrying a gun. The men then dragged him out of the matatu and bundled him into a white car.
Inside the white vehicle were 5 men, 2 in the front and 3 at the back. We drove for close to an hour, while all the time I was assaulted until we came to a sudden stop. I was then blindfolded and handcuffed at the back and moved into a second awaiting vehicle that had 4 men. Who are the people?
We are the people.
Watu ni nguvu.
After being driven into an unknown location, Njagi was eventually confined to a dark room where he spent 32 days isolated from human contact.
I was whisked away into a building and ushered into a small and very dark room. It was the size of 6 feet by 4 feet. I was left on the floor handcuffed at the back and blindfolded for 2 days without food. Only some water. That was
People power.
Higher power.
People power.
Higher power.
People power.
Higher power.
Who are the people?
We are the people.
Njagi spoke of the traumatic conditions that he was subjected to during his captivity.
The second room had a small withered mattress and a blanket. This is where I stayed locked up, handcuffed, blindfolded for the next 30 days. The room was completely sealed with no light during the daytime or nighttime. The only human interaction I got was when the door would be opened twice a day. In the morning, they would open and hand me a cup of tea while removing the waste bucket and replacing it with another one. During lunch hour, I was served with a meal that would barely keep me alive. The food was unpalatable, but I forced myself to eat in order to get some strength and to live to see another day, hoping and praying that God would rescue me from this ordeal. I was dehydrated and lost a lot of weight during the 32 days of abduction. Once a week, I would be led blindfolded into a room where I showered for 10 minutes before returning back to my cell. I was held incommunicado throughout my abduction and denied all freedoms and rights enshrined in our constitution.
On September 20th at around 12:30 a.m., Njagi was taken from the cell, blindfolded and driven for 30 minutes before being dumped.
Finally, the car stopped and one of the men informed me that they were going to release me, gave me some money, 400 shillings for bus fare, and removed me from the car. They asked me to sit on the ground and to remain there until they left. I heard the doors shutting and the cars speeding off. By the time I removed my blindfold, they had already disappeared into the dark.
Despite the ordeal, the activist claims that he was ready to heal and move on.
I have since forgiven my captors and asked God to forgive them too. I, however, will pursue justice and plan to sue the government for this ordeal in order to stop any other such abductions.
Njagi says his abduction was directly related to his active role in the July anti-government protest.
I was illegally arrested twice on 2 separate occasions. On both occasions, I was violently arrested and physically assaulted by the police and denied my right to seek counsel or communicate with my family members.
Earlier today, Bob Njagi was meant to address journalists at a certain hotel, but the meeting was interrupted by the police, who laid siege to the venue, momentarily preventing journalists from accessing the area. Later in the afternoon, Njagi, alongside members of the Free Kenya movement, were able to speak to the media at a hotel within Kitengela. Shortly after the presser, in a twist of events, several police officers were spotted within the hotel. Njagi had to be whisked away. Security officials had been monitoring and tracking movements of the activist.
Government of the day made all efforts to make sure that he does not speak to the media. And that is why we are hiding in the bush to address the media. When this press conference was called, the DCC of Isinya instructed the AP commandant and the DCI Kitengela to come and disrupt a legal press conference invited by a man that has suffered.
You may have abducted Bob and the other guys. You may have killed us in the street. You may want to suppress us, but we are not going to stop. You may kill a revolutionary, but you cannot kill a revolution.
On the same day Njagi was taken, 2 brothers, Jamil and Aslam Longton, were also reportedly abducted by masked men in Nasubaru. The Longton brothers were also found later in Gashie, Kiambu County, after a public outcry. However, the police kept saying they did not know the whereabouts of Njagi and the Longton brothers during the abduction. While the families of Njagi and the Longton brothers are relieved to have their loved ones back, concerns remain over the safety of activists in Kenya.
For example, there is a bill that is meant to actually control people like Bob Njagi and the Free Kenya movement for not going to the street. The anti-protest bill. This is total rubbish. I think it is unconstitutional. It should be rejected in its own, in its own violence and demerits, and the Kenyan people must stand up.
I shall continue to lobby for good governance and accountability. I remain to be a strong voice for the weak, the marginalized in society.
In the past, the National Police Service has denied any involvement in the disappearances. However, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua claims police have been misleading the president that there are no abductions. The DP said security agencies are taking Kenyans back to the dark days. Rozongoi, NTV.
Now, on the back of that, there is a development that has happened not too long ago in New York, which has been announced by Korir Sing'oei, who is the Principal Secretary for Foreign Affairs, and he says that he's pleased to announce Kenya's successful election to the United Nations Human Rights Council held today in New York. Kenya elected to sit on UN Human Rights Council, and that is the announcement from the Principal Secretary in charge of Foreign Affairs. And just for context, from their website, the Human Rights Council is an intergovernmental body within the United Nations system responsible for strengthening the promotion and protection of human rights around the globe and for addressing situations of human rights violations and making recommendations on them. It has the ability to discuss all thematic human rights issues and situations that require its attention throughout the year. It meets at the United Nations office at Geneva, at UNOG. So that is just a context of this coming on the back of concerns around human rights and rather wrongs on human rights when it comes to the the protests that were happening in June, July onwards, and the concerns around abductions and the likes. We shall keep that story at the top of our minds. Now, days after the Ministry of Health promised a smoother SHA experience for Kenyans, the access to healthcare under the national insurance continues to pose challenges, with patients bearing the full brunt of the new system's inefficiencies. In some counties, healthcare is grinding to a halt. And as Lois Wangoi reports, Kapsabet Referral Hospital in the county of Nandi has been closed indefinitely due to what the healthcare officers say is poor working conditions and lack of supplies.
Elizabeth Kosgei is a mother in distress upon arriving at the Kapsabet Referral Hospital early morning to seek medical attention for her 4-month-old son who suffered fever and flu symptoms. The doors were closed. The hospital staff are on strike owing to lack of medical equipment and pharmaceuticals at the level 5 facility.
Mtoto ni mgonjwa, angehitaji matibabu, lakini tumerudi nyumbani hatukupata matibabu. Tunaomba serikali itusaidie sana kwa sababu tuko na shida. Serikali mko wapi?
This mother had hoped for better healthcare services as the country healthcare transitioned to SHA, but now she's stuck with a sick baby on her chest and with no monies in her pocket to afford a private hospital treatment. She says she may opt for affordable over-the-counter medication if only to relieve her baby's pain.
Tumerudi nyumbani tu, hatukupata shughuli yote ya matibabu.
Mzee Paris Kuto received similar shock after seeking healthcare services at Kapsabet Referral Hospital. Even as the hospital's medics abandoned treatment rooms for the streets owing to lack of hospital consumables, patients like Mzee Kuto are stranded with little understanding of why the government would fail a public hospital to its closure amid the SHA shift.
Nashangaa, natakiwa serikali yetu wasaidie watu hasa wale wa daktari zetu ya kusaidia sisi. Sasa saa hii tuko na tabu. Daktari mekoma, sijui alikoma kwa nini.
Now, the Kenya Union of Nurses has threatened to stage national demonstrations against the ongoing rollout of SHA owing to witnessed inefficiencies by Kenyans seeking wellness under the country's health insurance SHA.
We urge the president to intervene. We urge him to tell the procurement people to follow the right channel in the procurement, and the old system of NHIF should be upgraded.
But the Council of Governors is expressing confidence in SHA amid its teething problems, while cautioning health institutions against turning away patients due to systematic challenges.
Watu wanasema iko na matatizo mingi. Nini ina matatizo wakati inaanza?
The Ministry of Health says 12.7 million Kenyans have registered under SHA as the ministry contracts 1,442 healthcare providers to offer services to SHA-registered members. Principal Secretary in the State Department for Medical Services, Harry Kimutai, says a significant number of employers are yet to register their employees on SHA, as currently only 15,588 employers have declared 120,620 employees. Lois Wangoi, NTV.
Now, secondary schools might be forced to close earlier than planned as a result of the government not releasing the full capitation funds due to schools for this year. This is the alarm sounded by the Kenya Secondary Schools Heads Association, KESHA. Now, out of the expected 22,244 shillings, which is meant for tuition per student per year, the government has released 15,192 shillings, which is a shortfall of about 7,052 per student per year. And the amount the government has directed schools to deposit for infrastructure, that is out of the 15,192, is 3,850 shillings. So the balance that is left for tuition and operations per student per year is 11,342, and this is according to the Kenya Secondary Schools Heads Association. Now, the outcome of low funding, the schools say that they're unable to purchase necessary supplies for KCSE 2024, as well as end-of-year examinations for learners in other classes. That's according to Kesha as well. Now, aside from that, the chair, that is Willie Kuria of Kesha, says that, quote, there's already a serious financial crisis in schools and it is not possible to complete the term if the remaining capitation is not released. We are very worried that the debt burden in schools is getting out of hand. Another case of the struggles of the economy and the government in terms of finances. Now let's get into the matters of the Deputy President. Now Rigathi Gachagua has received a much-needed reprieve after a proposal by Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheruiyot for the formation of an 11-member select committee to investigate his impeachment, and which a section of other senators said would deny Gachagua the right to a fair hearing, was defeated on Wednesday morning. Gachagua's impeachment will therefore be investigated by all senators on Wednesday and Thursday next week, as announced by Senate Speaker Amason Kingi. NTV's political affairs reporter David Mudhoka reports on the failed plan to determine Gachagua's fate in a select Senate committee, as well as on the rest of the schedule for Gachagua's impeachment hearing at the floor of the Senate.
Hii serikali tulitafuta na shida mingi sana. Hatuwezi kubali mtu haribu.
Kenyans will be shocked.
Hiyo ikulu nimeweka mitego kila kona, kila kona. Hapo iko kibarua.
291 members of this National Assembly pended their signatures in support of this motion.
Hours after Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was impeached by the National Assembly, the Senate officially heard the 11 charges that were leveled against Gachagua at the floor of the National Assembly on Wednesday morning. With 10 days only to either save or impeach the embattled Deputy President, the Senate proceeded to decide whether the impeachment will be investigated by a committee of 11 senators or by all the senators. Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheruiyot proposed that the matter be handled by a committee.
And I want to urge members to agree with me that we elect 11 of our wisest and most trusted senators, Mr. Speaker, who we think have the sufficient wisdom.
However, a section of senators was skeptical with the formation of a committee, saying it will deny Gachagua the right to a fair hearing.
Honorable Speaker, given the mood of the House and especially on the minority side, I respectfully decline to second that motion.
The proposal for a special committee is defeated. The Senate will therefore proceed with the investigation of the proposed removal from office by impeachment of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, EGH, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, in plenary.
The investigation of Gachagua's impeachment in plenary means that all senators will be allowed in the hearings. However, some senators raised concerns over whether all senators, irrespective of which side they will be on, will have an opportunity to speak. The debate at some point getting heated.
We cannot have any senator heckling the Speaker. As we go to this impeachment, you need to behave, Senator Wambua. Leave the chamber now for the rest of the sitting.
According to the Senate Speaker, the clerk of the Senate is supposed to send invitations to both the National Assembly and the Deputy President to next week's impeachment hearings today. Both the National Assembly and DP Gachagua are expected to file their responses with the Office of the Clerk of the Senate by Monday, the 14th of October. On the same day, after receiving the responses, the clerk is supposed to circulate documents received from parties and the plenary hearing program to all senators. Then, on Wednesday next week, the National Assembly will present its case to the senators, including lining up 3 key witnesses against Gachagua, among them Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja and Secretary to the Cabinet Mercy Wanjau, an exercise that is expected to last all day. On Thursday, it will be the turn for DP Gachagua to defend himself and for his lawyers to cross-examine the witnesses who will have testified against Gachagua the day before. Should submissions from Gachagua's side end early, senators could vote to save or impeach the country's second-in-command on the same day or the following Friday, which is the 10th day from today. David Muthoka, NTV, Nairobi.
The High Court will on Friday rule on whether it will refer a case filed challenging the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to the Chief Justice to constitute an even number of judges to determine the matter. That is uneven, UN. Now, while appearing before Judge Lawrence Mugambi, the petitioner's lawyers maintained that the public participation exercise and the impeachment process have raised weighty constitutional matters that should be determined by more than one judge. The petitioners also want the case certified as urgent. However, the respondents' lawyers have rejected the prayers, arguing that there are no substantive constitutional issues that have emerged from the processes, and also requested the court to consolidate the more than 20 cases filed on the matter. We'll take a short break on NTV tonight. We still have more coming after this. Stay with us.
Hapa ni Butterfly Care Center. Na watoto hawa wanahitaji proper improvement kwa dormitories, classroom, kitchen, vyoo, mahali pa kuogea na mahali pa kuchezea. Pamoja tuna nguvu, na ndio maana star 570 hash option 4 kuna probox na 1 million Kenyan shillings. Inamaanisha kila stick ambao unacheza nayo ili kushinda probox au 1 million, part of it inatengwa ili kuimarisha maisha ya watoto wa Butterfly Care Center. Iko na ni mpya na inakufaa, na ni star 570 hash option ya 4. Pamoja tuchezi tu, tunasaidia na tunashinda.
We believe in ideas that can change the world.
We are for every dreamer, creator, striver, and believer. At ABSA CIB, we are invested in your story, and we invite you to write it with us because your story matters. ABSA.
New Downy perfume collection. Sometimes I need a scent to keep me calm amongst the chaos, or a light fragrance that keeps me fresh in the heat, or a perfume that feels elegant all day and into the night, lasting longer than expensive perfumes. New Downy, lavender calm, sunrise fresh, and sweet elegance, freshness that inspires confidence. Your dreams have come true. Try it for only 20 shillings.
My Club! It's day 7 of My Club Festival Nakafu! With exclusive offers, massive discounts, irresistible prices, big savings, bigger rewards. It's more than loyalty. It's crazy offers every day. Nakafu.
Doors should not hold out opportunities. Doors are the gateways to progress, the ones that hold ideas, and those that close deals. Let's take those to places where there are none. Let's open big doors that harbor progress. In all the places that we are.
KCB ni yangu.
KCB ni yetu.
KCB is mine.
KCB ni yetu. For people, for better.
You have all heard the word Betika, but do you know what Betika really means? To Betika is to climb to the top of the world. To Betika is to get promoted to the next level and to win again and again and again. To Betika is to test the limits of speed and to swing hard at every opportunity. To Betika is to do the impossible. It is possible with Betika.
Welcome to Betika, the home of champions.
Live in the moment, live a little today. What'll happen tomorrow? Who's to say? Life's too short to just be living. Life's a precious gift, so keep believing.
As Jurgen Klopp took his leave from Liverpool in May, the Reds turned their attention to replacing an irreplaceable manager. So when Arne Slot was chosen as Klopp's successor, he intended to forge his own path by doing things his way. By staying true to his principles, Slot has made a near-perfect start to his reign as Liverpool head coach.
Welcome back to NTV Tonight. Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's impeachment motion has seen the Fourth Estate on a wall-to-wall coverage of the unprecedented event. Well, while the media is doing that, they are doing what they do the best. The same coverage is accorded all matters of national interest. And why not? That is the core role of the media, isn't it? But when accolades come from unlikely sources, even the media is thrown aback. That was the case Monday night when Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua showered the media with praise for its coverage of his impeachment process. And as Lois Wangoi reports, that same man was breathing fire at the media last year.
Welcome to the official residence of the Deputy President.
Monday, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua invited media representatives to his official residence to address the nation on a bid to remove him from office by way of impeachment. Towards the end of his 2-hour address, the unexpected happened. The besieged second-in-command has finally seen the light.
I want to thank you for your coverage of the shortly public participation on this impeachment motion, because you exposed it for what it was, and your video clips are very useful for us as we argue in courts of law. You guys are wonderful.
A sharp contrast from his attitude towards the media just a year ago. The Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, had no kind words for journalists regarding the coverage of the 2022 campaigns.
Nyinyi watu ya media muende muandike hiyo nimesema, hakuna pahali mtatupeleka, mlijaribu kutupiga, mkiwa na system, mkiwa na deep state, mkiwa na Azimio na Gideon Moi, tukapiga nyinyi 9-0. Hata hapo mbele tutamulima the same.
Number 5.
The previous government seemed to have laid a foundation for politicians to undermine the role of the Fourth Estate. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta also went on record for demeaning the role of the media.
Kila siku ukichukua hiyo gazeti ambaye mimi nasoma headline hiyo nyingine zinawacha, lakini ukichukua gazeti ati unaangalia gazeti inaambia ya kwamba nyinyi watu ya Bomet, watu ya Rift Valley ati mumechoka na ndugu yangu. Hapana, Acha mimi niseme ukweli wangu, wale wanaandika si wako hapa? Kwani unafikiri si ni mimi ndio nasoma au nyinyi hamsomi hiyo gazeti? Nataka leo mniambie ya kwamba yale ambaye tunasoma ni ya ukweli au ni ya uongo? Ni ya uongo. Nataka kuona kwa mikono wale wanasema ya kwamba hiyo ni mambo ya upuzi. Yale ambaye tunasoma ni ya upuzi. Kwa hivyo vile nilisema ya kwamba gazeti ni ya kufunga nyama ni sawa. Tuendelee namna hiyo.
However, President Kenyatta seemed to change his tone when he addressed the media when the police raided his son's home over alleged possession of illegal firearms.
Na nawashukuru. Na ombi langu kwenu nyinyi kama fourth estate. Lindeni uhuru wa Wakenya. Ya. Lindeni demokrasia ya taifa letu. Sina ingine. Hiyo ni haki yenu. Si ndio? Ya? Na Wakenya wanawatarajia mfanye hivi.
During Uhuru Kenyatta's era, influential minister Fred Matiang'i once unlawfully shut down 3 private television stations, Citizen TV, NTV and KTN, claiming that these stations had broadcast Raila Odinga's swearing-in ceremony as the people's president in real time.
We long lost the days of threatening action. We will act.
Last year, former CS Fred Matiang'i held the media when his lawyers called on the press after William Ruto's government allegedly raided his home. Never mind that the raid remains a contested fact. President William Ruto is also on record lashing at the media on their reportage of his administration. While if precedence is anything to go by, one thing will be constant: the media will outlive politicians and their interest. It's a duty for the media to afflict the comfortable and comfort the afflicted, never to be a darling of besieged politicians.
What to do?
Lois Wangoi, NTV.
In our case, just
we'll be here, as they say, no matter what. The question on succession when it comes to property does not have clear answers, even if a will is involved. In many circumstances, families end up fighting. Government agencies jump for levies and taxes, and the list goes on and on. Here is Sandeep Main, our partner at the KPMG, an accounting organization, and Michael Wanyama, advocate of the High Court and partner at Kipkorir and Wanyama Law Firm, speaking on property and succession on the money.
Succession generally, there is no order. You find that family members are saying, no, this one is mine, this one is, the other one is mine. You find relatives sometimes laying claim over property, a property that ought to have been retained within the nuclear family. Then, on the other hand, we have what we call tested succession. Tested succession is where we have a will, and I think this is where we will focus more. And also tell Kenyans why it is important for them to have a will. So in tested succession, of course, the deceased person, in this case we call them a testator. A testator will write a will, that is a written will, and if they fail to write a will, they can also have an oral will. The law also contemplates that they can have an oral will. So basically in that will, they will leave their express intentions. So basically they will have to recall that these are my dependents, that is number one. Number two, these are my dependents, these are the persons who are supposed to inherit property, that is two. Number three, you'll be identifying those properties within the will.
Succession planning does not have any value to it. So we can't say that the wealthy are the ones who only do succession planning. Any person, any individual, any wananchi who has maybe even a shop or a bit of stock or a few chunks of land here and there needs to consider the sustainability of their legacy. When you talk about buying land to reduce tax exposure, I think you're really talking about tax planning. So if you buy a piece of commercial property, for instance, you are entitled to tax allowances. So that in itself is planning. So you can buy the property, I don't know, say 60 million shillings, but then you get a you get a tax allowance on an annual basis, to reduce, the rebate on the tax that you need to pay on that property. So for me, it's about structuring the particular property. Obviously, you have what we call depreciation, which means you reduce the value, but then you also get a tax allowance at the same time. So really, depending on how you want to, put your depreciation rates against your allowances, you could say you are benefiting from a tax perspective. And so a lot of family businesses are now, and have been, but now more so, forming trusts or foundations. The essence of a trust is not to benefit immediately. It is really building that legacy, that succession plan, such that if the property is within a particular trust, the income of the trust at the moment, based on a legislation, is not subject to tax. So it can be reinvested within the same scheme. However, if the beneficiaries of the trust draw out or alienate, meaning they sell any portion of the assets of the trust, then that will be subject to tax. And that was brought in by the Finance Act 2023.
Not so many people, of course, understand the subject of trust. But as far as wills are concerned, I want to make reference to the estate of Nderitu Gachagua, the former late governor of Nyeri. He had a number of properties, and you saw the DP taking a number of minutes, if not hours, just to highlight a number of things that the deceased owned. And on his part, he went ahead and came up with a will. Yes. So one of the ways in which these prominent people protect their wealth is through wills. But then the question is it just a matter of making wills to protect property, or there must be something within that will that can protect the property? Indeed, within a will, you can incorporate something. Yes. You can incorporate a clause, what we call the no contest clause, in a will. That will help. The dependents not fight. Allow me just to explain in a minute or two what the no contest clause is all about. Basically, here you are telling the dependents that, or the beneficiaries under the will, that if anyone were to go out there and challenge this will, or anyone were to go out there and say, I have a problem with the mode of distribution, then if they are unsuccessful, they are going to lose out on their bequest under the will.
I said it's not legally binding, but it sort of sets the scene or sets the tone for what needs to happen post. And look, everyone knows that we all have to go. The question is, can my wishes then be abided to or adhered to after I have left? So I think that's, and a lot of people do not do wills because the conversation of death is a very difficult one. Inheritances are currently, exempt from tax. If you're passing property to your spouse, you can also get an exemption from the taxes. But by far and large, and that's why the laws change to say that if you have inherited a particular property and then you decide to dispose it, you will pay tax on it. But if it's an immediate transfer, currently it's exempt from tax. But given the future where we had and remember, inheritance is being taxed in other parts of the world. It's predominantly in this side of the world that we do not tax inheritance.
Gachagua. Hii serikali tulitafuta na shida mingi sana. Hatuwezi kubali mtu haribu.
Kenyans will be shocked.
Hiyo ikulu nimeweka mitego kila kona. Hapo iko kibarua.
291 members of this National Assembly pended their signatures in support of this motion.
Quite an insightful explanation on inheritance, and as you could say, it is right on the money. We take a short break on NTV tonight. When we're back, some more business news for you. Stay with us.
Try the new Dunked All-Star Box for only 8.90 Kenyan shillings. Hope you're ready for the new star of the show. KFC, it's finger-licking good while stocks last.
You have all heard the word Betika, but do you know what Betika really means? To Betika is to climb to the top of the world. To Betika is to get promoted to the next level. And to win again and again and again. Tubetika is to test the limits of speed and to swing hard at every opportunity. Tubetika is to do the impossible. It is possible with Betika.
Welcome to Betika, the home of champions.
New Downy refill pouches, lasting longer than expensive perfumes. Cap, store, and no need to add water. Serve with a Downy refill.
Introducing Festive Cakes.
We have some delightful snacks for all of you.
The Festive Ciambello Cake. Indulge in the pleasure of a cone-shaped cake that's bursting with flavors.
Where did you come from?
Come. So this is where the magic happens. This is for you kids.
Festive Cupcakes.
Thank you.
Perfect treat to share with friends and family.
Now for your kids' school snacks, Hakuna Stress.
Festive Pink Cakes. The perfect blend of sweetness and softness.
And now this is for you, Dad, and your office mate.
Festive Pound Cake. This sumptuous cake will leave you craving for more. Taste the magic with our Festive Cakes from DPL Festive Bakery. Delight with every bite.
Enjoy all-in-one payment solutions for your business with Network. Accept multiple payment methods and process all your business transactions on one device. Whether it's M-Pesa, Airtel Money, Visa, MasterCard, Apple Pay, or Google Pay. Network does it all. It's faster, it's better, it's smarter. Get it for your business today by calling 0730-847-847.
Dettol Skincare combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
Avieta imerahisishwa. Sasa kuna njia mpya na rahisi ya kucheza Avieta. Dial *419# kwenye simu yako na ucheze wakati wowote.
My Club, My Club, My Club! It's day 7 of My Club Festival Nakafu! With exclusive offers, massive discounts, irresistible prizes, big savings, bigger rewards! It's more than loyalty. It's crazy offers every day. Nakafu!
Down to business. Now, the Central Bank of Kenya has cut its economic growth forecast to 5.1%, down from 5.4%, citing slower growth in the second quarter on diverse factors, including suppressed credit flows. The country registered a slower 4.6% GDP growth in the second quarter compared to 5.6% at the same time last year. The Kenyan economy grew at its slowest pace in 4 years during the second quarter since the pandemic in key sectors including agriculture, electricity and water supply, transport and storage, accommodation and food services, finance and insurance, all marking a slowdown in growth. The third edition of the Africa Monetary and Economic Conference has kicked off in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, with economic pundits calling for restructuring of the global financial architecture to address the challenges faced by African economies. This comes at a time when Ghana and Zambia have just inked deals on restructuring their debt following default in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic and the tightened global financial conditions. The three-day conference taking place at the African Union headquarters in Ethiopia has also piled pressure on the need for a just green transition, which will ensure African economies meet decarbonization targets sustainably.
Are related to inadequate financial resources for development and a looming debt crisis. These are very much features of the international financial system and the global tax regime, as their effect combine to cause African countries to face continuous illiquidity.
The current debt development and climate crisis in Africa
have their roots in years of imposition of neoliberal economic and social policies and a broken global financial architecture which remains influential today.
The people who run economic policy, central banks, Ministry of Finance, were essentially IMF posted. They think and continued to think like the IMF. So it's been a real fundamental change.
That does it for NTV Business and NTV Tonight. Thank you for joining us. But remember, as always, on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, after the bulletin, we have our special production that is 12 minutes. Now, for tonight, when many hear of gender-based violence, what comes to mind is likely to be the victim being a girl or woman, and this is easily informed by the data of majority of the victims being female. But what happens when men are abused? On tonight's 12 minutes, we get to hear about that. After this break, my name is Dan Mwangi, and alongside me on the sign language interpretation has been David Agondoa. Good night. Stay with us.
This is NTV.
Acne-prone skin, marks? Stop. Try new Garnier Charcoal Serum with 4% AHA, BHA and charcoal. The first black serum with no residue. Clinically proven to reduce pimples and acne marks. New Garnier AHA, BHA Charcoal Serum. Approved by dermatologists by Garnier Naturally.
My club, my club, my club! It's day 7 of My Club Festival Nakafu! With exclusive offers, massive discounts, irresistible prizes, big savings, bigger rewards! It's more than loyalty. It's crazy offers every day. Nakafu!
Ni tikiti moja. Lakini ni tikiti inayowafungulia milango iliyofungwa. Milango za huduma kwa wanafunzi kupata elimu na mahitaji ya shule bila mapendeleo. Huduma kwa afya ya jamii na kuwapa imani ya kesho. Kufungua na kuimarisha biashara, ujenzi na kurudisha ustawi kwa maisha ya wasiojiweza. Huduma ya ushindi kwa wote. Na unapobonyeza *570#, sio mchezo tu, ni nguvu.
Doors should not hold out opportunities. Doors are the gateways to progress, the ones that hold ideas, and those that close deals. Let's take those to places where there are none. Let's open big doors that harbor progress. In all the places that we are.
KCB ni yangu.
KCB ni yetu.
KCB is mine.
KCB ni yetu. For people, for better.
To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
When we talk about sexual and gender-based violence, a picture of women and girls is easily drawn to mind. But what about men and boys? They too fall victim to abuse, though it's not as publicly declared or revealed. Unfortunately, there are very few safe houses for boys and men who have experienced various forms of abuse, including sexual violence, neglect, or those transitioning from prison. James Ouma is the founder of one such facility, Lifesong, Kenya. I am Maura Obiria, and this is the story of a man helping other men and the experiences surrounding the safe house in 12 minutes.
My name is James Ouma, known as Hawi James Ouma. I grew up around Lac, so I didn't have a father. My father died when I was 13 years old. And so up to when I was 27, I used to just focus on the things that I lacked. A father figure, money to go to college, and what have you. So when I was growing up, I wanted to be a TV producer and a journalist. So when I turned 27, I was like, I can't keep on telling people that I am an orphan, because I'm now old enough to take care of myself. So I decided to look at the things that I have so that I can use to have a career. And I just went back to what I grew up wanting to be, a journalist and a TV producer. So I started now unlearning the things that I learned about myself, especially about luck and trouble and what have you. So Life Song, actually when I applied for this job, I applied to different TV stations. And so my signature used to be Life is a Song. So there was this TV program manager who asked me during the interview, yeah, okay, like why have you applied for this job when you know that you're not qualified? And I told her to show that I'm qualified is a piece of paper. But if I don't turn up to work tomorrow, this piece of paper won't go on, okay, like to work on my behalf. Then I told her that I'm willing to learn. Yeah, so I got the job and I just started learning on job training. And so the TV show was for children. And so through the TV show, I was meeting now children, especially boys, who are just focusing on what they lack. I remember many of them were saying that I want to be on the TV show so that I can ask for sponsors. I can tell them how I'm an orphan, how I don't have blah, blah, blah. And then I'll tell them, I would rather we focus more on your treasure, on what you have, as opposed to on what you, okay, like on what you lack. Then in 2012, there's a colleague of mine who we had gone to pick her from Nairobi remand prison, and then now she told me about boys. So when I went to meet the boys, I just saw a reflection of myself. Yeah, boys who needed someone. So for me, Life Song is okay, like is that whatever you focus on, especially if it's lack, the things that you lack, then now it becomes like a broken record or a bad song, okay, like so to speak. But when you focus on what you have, especially like your treasures, then you now have okay, like a cheerful song. Like, well, you might have not gone to college, but then again now you have something, you're passionate about something. So can you use that instead of saying I lack this? Just use of what you have in your hands. And then your life now becomes a song. Life Song specifically started as a reading club, because now that's how I grew up. Like, I grew up reading books. But then again now when I met boys in prison, I discovered that these boys, they're not even interested in reading. They just want to get out of this situation. So I discovered that reading was not going to be the right thing for me to use. So what I discovered was they needed, okay, to be reconciled with their parents and the people that they've wronged. During my off day, I used to go there on Fridays, which used to be my off day. So I'll go to prison, meet these boys, and then I'll meet their families also, and police officers, and the people that they have wronged. In 2012, that's when I went to prison. Yeah, so then now I met these boys. And then in 2017, we had 3 boys. One of them came from a single mom, but this mom was more loving. And then the other one was more loving also, yes, but she had gotten married somewhere else. Yeah, so meaning that this boy could not go back to where she was married. So this boy went to, to live with the grandmother. The third boy also had a loving family, yes, but the dad was like non-existent. And so these 3 boys, we found that now like they were very vulnerable, because now when I went to meet the grandmother, she just told me, okay, you brought this boy back here, but this is not the right place for this boy, because here there are a lot of young men who are abusing drugs. There are a lot of boys who are going through a lot of struggles. And so then we thought we need to have a place for them to stay. So in 2018, we started now, apart from going to prison, we started now cycling to raise funding so that now we can have a halfway house. So the idea of the halfway house is somewhere whereby now this young person can come and stay with us for at least 3 months, in our case for at least 3 months, so that now they can get help to overcome whatever it is, or perhaps also just change the environment from where they are at. Because now, in 2005, I got arrested, and I stayed at a police station, like for 8 days. I was staying with a friend who was engaged in crime. was engaged in crime. So when the police came to arrest him, so because I was staying with him, so of course the way the police, the way they work is whoever is there. So like right now, if they come right now here and had stolen something from someone, all these guys will be arrested with me. They might let you go free because they're like, who you hana risk. But these other ones, wanna mikora sana. So that's how I got arrested. And so they said that they were going to investigate whether I'm involved in crime. So it took them 8 days. It took them 8 days to discover that I was not involved, which is a long time. So before I went there, I had a tuition program that I was running as a volunteer. But when I came out, nobody wanted to give me their children. So you find that stigma, even though I only stayed for 8 days at a police station. And so they didn't even want to know, like, why were you arrested? Why did they let you go? So that's the stigma that, so now when someone is arrested, no one wants to know, like, why have you come back? What skills have you learned? Have you reconciled with the person that you wronged? So then I was like, we need a halfway house. So that's how now we came up with the idea of the halfway house. It started off as a reading club in 2010, but registered as a community organization in 2013. So we started cycling in 2018 to raise funding so that we can have the halfway house. So we finally managed to have the halfway house in 2021. That's when we started now renting a place. One of the challenges that we have with working with boys, especially boys who are in conflict with the law, is that there's a lot of stigma surrounding this kind of work. And because of the system the way it is, many people look at someone who's been arrested as a criminal. Like, they don't want to know, like, are you innocent or what? They just look at them as a criminal. Also, they don't want to know, are you reformed? They just treat you as the criminal. So you find that now, that's the stigma that is there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, the stigma affects both girls and boys, women and men who've been in conflict with the law. It affects both of them. But then again, now for the boys now, it's a different case, because now it's like, once again, like I've said, boys are potential perpetrators. So if you hear that, okay, like let's say, for example, a boy or a man has hit maybe their girlfriend or their wife, you're like, we expected that one. It was just a matter of time, we were waiting. It was a matter of, because people tend to believe that that's maybe the nature, how it is, which for me I believe is very false. Because what I've come to discover, that many of these boys and young men, they went through this stigma and trauma when they were growing up. So it's like they think that this is normal. For example, if you find a boy who is maybe bullying others, he was bullied before. So it's like, this is normal life. Or, I want to revenge. I found someone who is weaker, so let me also do that which was done to me. If it's sexual abuse also, they're like, so this thing was done to me. So maybe they're thinking this is a normal way of life. They don't know that this is abuse. And so also they want to abuse others, not knowing that this is abuse. So for me, I think there's a lot that we need to, as a society, especially in Kenya, we need to just relook at everything, how we are taking care of others, and how we are looking at stigma and trauma. Because trauma happens anyway, even stigma, and it's a very real thing. So the thing that we've discovered is, when a lot of mothers are running away from violence from their homes, they usually run with their children. They run away from these marriages with their children. So when they run with girls, girls will find a place that they can stay. But if the boys are above 12, then now it becomes more challenging. Because at this age now also the boys now, they've now, started now experimenting, with a lot of things. So putting them where girls and women are becomes also unsafe for the mothers and also the girls. So you find that now many times these boys now do not have a place. So like right now, everyone here, nobody wants them to go back home. So what we do, our prayer is, especially now with the 2 19-year-olds, because now they have skills that they've gained, and also they are gaining skills right now, even now at our bike shop, and even with us. So that's why, as we are keeping chicken and all these projects that we have, so that now we can have our own jobs, because it's also difficult also. Actually, it's much easier for someone to say, I've seen this young man working with you, he's a hard-working young man, bring him to me, as opposed to telling them, I have this hard-working young man, can you absorb him at a job place here? So our idea is to just teach them on this hands-on skill, and then they work with us. First and foremost, they work with us, so that then also we can recommend them also, like to work elsewhere. So that's our plan.
This is NTV.
You have all heard the word Betika, but do you know what Betika really means? To Betika is to climb to the top of the world. To Betika is to get promoted to the next level and to win again and again and again. To Betika is to test the limits of speed and to swing hard at every opportunity. To Betika is to do the impossible. It is possible with Betika.
Welcome to Betika, the home of champions.
Makofi to both baby and the new Morphix diapers. With its cottony soft texture and 3 times faster absorbent channels, the new Morphix diapers help to prevent rush. Morphix, comfy like a mom's hug.
You know you're flying with the world's best. Crowned by Skytrax, 15 years in a row. Yep, we've taken over 500 million of you to places. Our crew, they train like champions. Global safety standards, we nailed them. 23 years in counting, all thanks to our dedicated All-Stars and you.
You have all heard the word Betika, but do you know what Betika really means? To Betika is to climb to the top of the world. To Betika is to get promoted to the next level and to win again and again and again. To Betika is to test the limits of speed and to swing hard at every opportunity. To Betika is to do the impossible. It is possible with Betika.
Welcome to Betika, the home of champions.
The 2024 RAIDS Association of Kenya Conference is here from October 30th to November 1st in Naivasha. This year's event is set to explore the theme Navigating New Frontiers, Unlocking the Potential of Africa's Rate Market. Join thought leaders, investors and real estate experts as they delve into new opportunities in real estate investment, share groundbreaking insights and foster collaboration for Africa's growing rates sector. Register today and be part of this influential gathering. Visit rak.co.ke. Every step you take echoes the heartbeat of change, and every mile run is a promise fulfilled. The Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon is more than just a race. It's a testament to hope, resilience, and transformative power. The 21st edition of the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon is here, and you need to be a part of this uplifting journey. Your participation directly supports the Future Makers program, an initiative dedicated to empowering young people, especially girls and people living with disabilities, to learn, earn, and grow. By running, you're not only challenging yourself, but also investing in their dreams and futures. Join us at the Uhuru Gardens on Sunday, October 27th for a day that blends excitement, unity, and purpose. Register today for just 2,000 shillings at www.nairobimarathon.com and take your place in this pivotal event.
What is happening in
your life. It's demonic machinations. It's satanic attacks which are attacking you. So they are downsizing you to make you feel you are useless. You are not useless. In heaven, when God is looking at you, He's seeing a millionaire, He's seeing a president, He's seeing a businessman, He's seeing a leader, He's seeing a visionary, He's seeing a great man, a great woman. May you be the one in Jesus' name.
Want to know the biggest story of the week? Do not worry. The Weekly Review got you covered. For in-depth analysis of politics, business, governance, as well as social issues, the Weekly Review covers it all. For well-researched, exclusive and investigative content, read the Weekly Review every Sunday in the Sunday Nation.
Both of you are grown-ups. You knew what you were getting yourselves into. Now, act like grown-ups and face the consequences of what you've done. You have to marry Kelly.
Mom, Kelly and I have already talked. We're not getting married.
Their marriage doesn't seem like something you want.
But of course I don't want it. I mean, because I know Nikolai's stance on it.
Okay. Have you maybe fallen in love with him too?
What if I say that I will do everything so I can let go of these feelings? Will you come back here then? I've already accepted that. I can't be anything more than that. So I just want to let you know that I'll always be here if you need a friend.
Where did you come from?
Hamlet. So this is where the magic happens. This is for you kids.
Taste the magic with our festive cakes from DPL Festive Bakery. Delight with every bite.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated 16. It may be unsuitable for persons under the age of 16.
Niaje wale wasecheki, tumekam kwa screen zenu tena manzi.
Wagwan bogi tu, this time tuko ndani ya Murang'a County. Watu ya Murima, hello.
Ni bad girl Iviona.
Naitwa Sanchez Mali.
Na hii ni Shujaz TV.
Na tulikuambia Shujaz TV ni mbogi yako true manzi. Tunakupeleka na rada weka youth man. Iko mambo ya talent, mambo ya business, hizo vibes zote unataka kujua kama kijana.
Especially pia ma relationships pia manze. Alafu pia tuko pale kwa WhatsApp manze. Tudungieni sasa mtuambie mna watch show kutoka wapi na mna feel aje 0718921170.
Na wale wa rununu ya kubonyeza ama katulituli utatupata kwa 20308. Make sure your SMS imeanza na #MbogiTrue.
Ndio hiyo sasa pale kwa social media tunajua nyinyi wase wa Gen Z pale hivyo Shujaz Kenya kila mahali, Instagram, Facebook na TikTok #MbogiTrue.
Sawa basi, right about now nataka niwapeleke kwa ati tuko strong.
Kila block tuko strong. Kila block
wewe na kuambia last time watu walikuwa wameform chama. Acha tuone hii wiki kuna kazi, sawa?
Mado.
Twende sana.
Nini unafichuta kinione? Ama kuna jamu na stock.
Mimi ni stock boy. Mimi bado sijakutana kunichizisha hivyo. Sisi boy mwenye yako on my highest grading. Ako 55%. Au wengine niliambiwa pull up their socks.
Kichibi,
Ni ukweli, unajua maboy huku nje wanafikiria wako na game lakini wapi? Tungekuwa tunawaambia ukweli, Hao wanasiasa unaonanga huku nje, venye wanajipiganga vifua kwa TV. Wangekuwa wamenyenyekea kweli. We? Asileo na kafiti. Luko hivyo kutambua mbaya.
100%. Hatuwezi juuni tricks alitoka Shags tu juzi.
Nakwambia wahenga, walikosea venye watu walikuwa nasema ati kukuza mashambani haziwezi wika mjini. Hapa kienyeji amewika mbaya. Hao wahenga walinoa. Nakwambia hizo maneno. Nini tricks unakunja sura? Shikanisha ngeze maneno babe. Na nilishakwambia smile, that was a compliment.
Thanks. Anyways, nafaa kushare job. Si tuonane baadaye.
Sawa.
Na ukienda shopping, uniite next time. Nataka kununua nguo pale unanunua. Sawa.
Mwanzesi anakapoa.
Acha tu. Wewe na wewe. Nilikuwa nafikiria mimi na wewe tulikuwa ma friends.
Ni ma friends.
Lakini kwa nini uniambie mwasi? Yaani anaekelea mhesh.
We, mimi sipendangi mushene. Mastori zote sitakangi. I'm not a gossip.
Yeah, right. Lakini hao wawili walianzaje? Na vile mwasi kana kuanga ka handsome. Ananokiaje wewe shosh?
Mimi nakwambia tu juna washwa na mdomo. Sipendi mshene by the way. Acha mimi nikwambie kitu moja. Sura taimata. Sura inaweza kuwa mbaya, lakini game A+². Nakwambia hata ukaweza ulizwa utachagua game ama uchague sura. Mimi ni game anytime any day.
Lakini mhesh, hana game. Mimi naona ni pesa tu.
Mimi maneno ya watu wawili siingiliange, hata wahenga walishindwa nazo. Lakini sasa ya kuhuzunisha ni ati sisi madema youngins tuna compete na mama wazee wenye kwa na do kupata hao vijana age yetu, imagine.
Actually 20 years from now naona ukikuwa anti waharia the baddest. Sifa zako ndio zitakuwa zinatamba huku. Wacha tu.
Nakwambia as they say baby girl, the beautiful ones are yet to be born. Mimi wangu bado akajazaliwa kako mahali tu kwa magoti ya mtu, kwa mjama tu fulani saa hii.
Kai. Chebi. Mimi nakuacha.
Anti waharia.
Good job partner.
Well done partner.
Manze siamini finally tumemake profit.
Sinaona. Tulivumilia. Tukapiga wera. Sasa ona. Blessings. Loizi.
Unajua ungeniambia few weeks ago ati tungetengeneza profit. Manze mimi singeamini.
Si umeona umuhimu wa kustay focused. So loi profit na ni kidogo, so unaona tuifanyiaje?
Vitu tu tulidiscuss. Tunachukua profit tunaweka kwa biashara. So vitu mbili za muhimu. Tutengeneze hiyo signage ama tutengeneze waiting area.
Hiyo signage naona tu tukae nayo hapo. Kitu urgent saa hii ni hiyo waiting area. So niende nitafute fundi.
Sawa. Mwas. Ile story ya je. Kusho atatuletea ngori.
Haizi rudi.
Na kama aliambia mheshi ile story.
Mimi najua je ni fala. Lakini kuna kitu moja hezi fanya. Hezi ambia mamake hii story.
Unajua je na kwanga emotional. I hope atatuletea ngori. Hata nilikuwa nikupigia simu nikwambie kuna mtu wa retouch hapa. Anahitaji washing? Wow. Na si unakaa poa. Alafu hii top kuna venye ninaona ni kama tuko the same size. Si uniuzie? Niko serious. Ulibuy how much? Uko serious? Na si ndio. Ulibuy tuso. Shika. Okay, siwacha nioshe alafu ikauke nikupe kesho. Haina noma. Mimi nataka tu ku make sure hakuna mtu ataibook. Asante. Yaani tricks hujui biashara. Ulitumia transport, ukatumia time. Yaani uwezi hata ongeza bei. Achi. Wacha kuchoma. Mimi nishabuy. Lakini on a serious note, unafaa unabuy hizi vitu na kuja unatuzia, manzi uko na taste fiti. But ni kweli, I'll think about it. Kwanza nangoja pesa ya chama ingie, alafu nita buy stock.
Wewe kadhe. Mimi niko fiti. Mzee pole nilisahau kukuambia asanti kwa kunipeleka na rada ya hiyo ufala ya kina J.
Man. Usikimia dino unafaa kusema hiza. Kutoboka hiyo story yako na mheshi ilikuwa blanda.
Hiyo issue ishaisha. Kitu hata sasa tunafaa kuwa tunafikiria ni vile tutadeal na hiyo ufala wanapanga kukuja nayo.
So intense. Masikio yangu kwa ground. Akijaribu chochote, ndio tu rada.
Bro, unaniambia ni si tense na una tension is written all over your face. Unaendaje?
Huyu bebe mama wangu ataniwa na stress. Usikii manze mtoi wangu alizaliwa 2 weeks ago. Na ni boy Na hata hizi nipigia kuniambia.
What? Iza man.
Lakini mimi naenda kumuona. Kimangoto tu.
Buda. Unataka kujipeleka kichinjio? Na si unajua tu vizuri ukienda huko hiyo ni kucommit suicide.
Acha Jonte akone mjunior wake.
Achi. Hebu acha kupea Jonte advice mbaya hapa.
Advice mbaya kiaje? Unataka ishingi na regret kosa kwa na mtoi wake?
Buda. Afadhali ni dedi nikijaribu. Kuliko mtoi wangu ishi kusema mimi ni deadbeat.
Jonte, usifikirie na emotions hapa.
Life ni kujaribu. Haizi kauko kijulizanga what if.
Cheki Buda. Mimi naenda kuona mtoi wangu. Kama mbaya walai. Kwenda venye kutaenda.
Trix. Una smile peke yako?
Nilikuwa nikifikiria kuhusu ile idea ya kuanza business ya kuuza manguo.
By the idea noma, you should just go for it.
I know, I can't believe dreams zangu za kwenda college will actually come true.
Wasi. Hamjasikia the latest? Mhesh? Ako area. Teren. Wacha mimi nikimbie huko kwenye yuko in case atoboke nisipitwe. Bye.
Kami na kama.
Chana. Unadhani anaweza kwa ametukujia?
Ai hapana. Uni MC wa hii mtaa na ako na freedom ya kutembea anytime.
Wadau. Mtapitaje na lunch ya free? Ati free lunch. Mhesha amepita kwangu na amenunulia lunch ya watu wangapi? 5. 50. Nastaki umpitwe. Sawa? Achi nimebakisha dakika ngapi? Lunch haiendi mahali. Mimi najua ama politicians vizuri sana. Nisipokula hiyo free lunch saizi, itabidi nimengojea next election. Hata si lunch ya bure, ni pesa yetu sisi taxpayers. Leo msijali siasa. Nimekula katenda acha nikafurahi. Nifurahie. Akisi utaniwekea lunch yangu. Sawa. Lakini achi. Na fundi atafanya job poa. Walai. Smart sana. Na hii busy na grow sana. I am so proud of you. Ebu.
Na mikebe unataka mikebe kama ngapi ya paint?
Yote nitakuja 10.
10. Lakini hizo different colors. Okay. Sasa utanitumia basi ujumbe.
Nitakutumia.
Alafu ndio nijue ngapi za hizo different colors na mimi nitakutumania. Sawa? Haya.
Sawa.
Asante. Mwangi, umeamua kunianika huku nje?
Si hivyo Mhesh.
Ni aje? Do you know I'm a married woman ama hiyo part ulisahau? Na kama unajua I'm a married woman, mbona uende kutangaza mambo yetu huko nje?
Si kutangaza.
Ukanianika uchi huko nje mbele ya kijana wangu. Unajua hiyo ni therapy nalipia je sasa? Anyway, mimi na wewe tumemalizana kabisa. Fanya hivi. Wewe na huyo salon partner wako mfunge virago vyenu, mtoka kwa building yangu end of this month. Hatutazungumzia hayo tena.
Manze nimebambika sana kucheki venye Trix anataka kufungua biz.
Ameamua kuanzisha biz mtu wangu. Hiyo ndio tabia ya watu wa Mbogi True.
Lakini sijapenda venye ameitwa kienyo hapo. Hadi akaangalia chini.
Wewe utapenda. Nataka niende tusikie Strakas walikuwa na react aje na episode. Twende sana.
Na hayo.
Kuna mbomu
15 pounds.
Nachukua mbomu.
Zinakwenda. Nahitaji diaper.
Kimeumana.
39. 40,000 shillings.
Namba 3.
King Kong.
Na
50,000 Kenya shillings.
Unanisumbua sana. Grand, mega.
Pata taarifa teke na e-paper. Stay in the know on the go. Getting the full story Bilangori. To sign up, choose your preferred subscription. Use the promo code SUBZ22 to get 20% off and pay. Get your favorite newspaper and enjoy the truth anywhere, anytime. For inquiries, email epaper@ke.nationmedia.com or call 0790 111 111. Subscribe today and get your taarifa teke.
This week on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we go all the way to Malaysia to review the Proton X70 SUV. We analyze its cabin comfort, innovative technologies, engine performance, fuel efficiency, and of course, give its value for money proposition against its rivals, the Renault Koleos and the Hyundai Tucson. Catch this and much more only on Cars with Big Boy Trev this Sunday at 5 p.m. only on NTV.
Where did you come from?
Come with me. So this is where the magic happens. This is for you kids.
Taste the magic with our festive cakes from DPL Festive Bakery. Delight with every bite.
The 2024 RATES Association of Kenya Conference is here from October 30th to November 1st in Naivasha. Register today and be part of this influential gathering. Visit rak.co.ke.
Wala fungus, guys!
Wala fungus!
Boom, 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 boom.
Ho, 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 ho.
Mwagi, hivi tumemalizana na wewe.
Subscription imeisha.
Imeisha. Imeisha.
Mwisho wa mwezi.
Nimefuliza lini? Zero.
Mwisho wa mwezi.
Napenda opportunity imekuwa hapo. Unajua mimi napenda msea akiona hiyo opportunity.
Kama Mwangi.
Kama takrab. Kuarudisha na teki.
Kama Mwangi.
Sasa huyu anaitwa nani?
Mwangi.
Tricks.
Tricks.
Oh.
Ame wewe please. Yako wewe kwa unakila. Yako shikata yako. Wewe ulishaamiwenda. Sasa Tricks ameona opportunity hivi akakamata.
Hivyo.
Ameambiwa na hizi tops zako ni supu, next time nataka penye unaenda kubai tuende na wewe. Kidogo hapo akaambiwa wewe na napenda hii top. Unaweza nizia ngapi? Ati tuso. Kidogo shika ako anajua by the way hii shati nimevaa inaweza sahihi. Alafu akaanza kwa na yenyewe hii mashati inaweza kuwa bisfiti. Akaanza sasa kutafuta strategy. That is so nice.
It's very nice. Ni vile siku hizi mnabai nguo zikiwa kwa mwili.
Nikaa gari. Unabai nguo kaa gari. Mwenye kona hiyo anaenda bila. Anaenda anabai vile.
Me the fact that huyo customer anasema na nguo ni smart, unaweza niuzia ngapi? Unajua hivyo ndo watu husema na jokes. Actually najua tangu tuanze kushoot kuna mtu amekwambia na hiyo kofia hii inakaa fiti, unaweza nijenga na ngapi ama ulishikana ngapi?
Lakini kuna kitu ilinibamba ni venye ameona hii nje ya kwanza biashara alafu ana work on her dreams.
Yes.
Juu from a long time amekuwa akitaka kuingia college afanye course fulani na amona hii business as a way of kujisaidia. Juu hii time yote unajua amekuwa akirely on Achi. Achi ndo atawafeed. Achi. Sasa at least amuona venye anaweza entrepreneurship ajijenge hata yeye.
Ukiwepatana na opportunity kama hiyo, mtu amekwambia kiatu, mtu amekwambia hata shade, hata earring, hata for you guys the capes, the whatever, you just take that opportunity and run with it. Alafu unaangalia kama ni mtu kama material amependa, unakamata hiyo age. Now you go and start marketing. Kama uko na phone wewe anza basi unajua kwenye ule enda kubai. Unauza na ile bei bro, unapiga picha unaanza kupost social media, you start selling, hata si lazima uko umebai. Watu wakianza kukuja ndio unaenda unazinunua.
Alafu educate na story na business. Na hiyo ajue hapa hivi yenyewe in as much as nilibai to so nafana make profit ndio niweze ikiisha stock ikiisha ni buy stock kingine. Actually ukiuza to so hizo vitu na ulibai to so then kama unarudi market tena.
Unafanya mahesabu za haraka capital licenses and everything.
I'm so happy about venye Tricks after amepata hiyo business opportunity ya kuuza manguo
tunaona akidocument kazi yake. Like anafanya hesabu zake. It's
She's
important.
learning from the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is not you.
Who is Achi?
Achi. Ah, she.
Who is this girl?
Yo kinyozi ni kinyozi na salon. Msao mwasi.
Anaangalia.
So it is important after to identify the opportunity, like not to see make any losses, to make sure tuna write down everything that you're doing, any cash in, cash out,
record keeping,
to make sure tunafanya record keeping.
Record keeping even on babies.
Allah. Hiki kama ni record keeping kwa babies, acha nikwambie. Struggles zinakuanga mingi. Mimi sijui kama mshaipatana na mashida za baby mama baby daddy issues. Unaona Jonte alipata mtoto na sister ya guide. Unfortunate things kwa hii relationship ya Achi na Jonte. Ni ati wao wako baby mama wa Jonte ni shida. Baby daddy hapo ni shida
kabisa. Shida marambwegze.
Ukikuja kwa baby daddy wa Achi ni shida.
Like capital letters.
Ya shida. Sasa watu sijui ama hii relationship imeundwa na sympathy. Kwa sympathy. Foundation ni sympathy ama
hapana, they understand each other. Huwa anajua it's important kuwa present kwa like mtu wako. Achi anajua hivyo. Na vile anaona vile Jonte anangangana kukua present, anaona hivi ndio inafaa. So
una admire.
Ana wish you angekuwa baby daddy. Na huyo ana wish you angekuwa baby mama.
Wow. Huu ni nyinyi.
Ni kujituma.
At least kuwa present kwa maisha ya mtoto wako. Juu unapata yenye especially madem, umepata boy anakuruka. Kwambia mimi sikuwa hapo. Na by the time anakuja, maybe anakuja after 16 17 years. Unaona ile yenye dema anakuja kwa like mimi nilijua buda yangu nilikuwa form 3. Hiyo time ndo anakuja kubali ndo mtoto wangu after all those years.
Wanakuanga washagrow.
Take responsibility. Alafu bado upea partner wako amani bado.
Alafu pia ukipata chali mwenye wewe as a dema una kid, alafu umepata chali yako na mtu.
Hebu waongeleshe.
Pia si lazima atijua kwa na mkid. Unaanza una nini like judging ama unasema that is not for me. If mna click na you mko na principles zenye zitafanya hiyo nini relationship work, why not?
As long as the baby mama hana drama, and as long as the baby daddy hana drama, because akiwa nayo I have seen people, they have suffered.
Hataki kusonga.
Hata na hizo drama zake, there's a way to solve everything. There's kuna koti ya kusolve vile mtu yeye atakuwa analelewa. There's talking with parents. Kama sasa unaona Achi yanaenda ndiko Achi ndio aweze kusaidika. There's always a way.
Lakini babe na kushoto in reality
koti hizi change.
Kuna wale hata hivyo kuna wale wenye hata wameenda hiyo koti, but then kuna wale wenye they just don't accept, like kuna wenye wako peaceful hadi aliende hiyo koti wakatulia, na kuna wenye they will never accept. Wewe utakadi 2 years ufikirie basi ya good aliacha,
ni kama tu anakupenda bado,
asikie tu move on. Ati naona mtoto wangu na mama wengine nini hiyo sifurahi, my child will not be stressed na mama na mtoto wanateseka.
Wagwan Bogitro, bado tuko ndani ya Murang'a County na vibes inaendelea kuvibe. Ama ni aje mtu wangu?
Au sio?
Nakwambia kuna kitu wamereiterate hapo kwa Starcast reaction. Wamesema hiyo story ya toxic relationship na vile tuliendelea kuemphasize usingoje get physical. Kawe ni mtu wa Bogitro na ushaona hizo red flag, hiyo ndio time yako ya kuhepa.
Mimi naweza sema manzi Jonte amekisha ameenda ameona mtoto wake, but either way endeni pale hivyo kwa YouTube mcheki hiyo episode. Kama hujaicheki manzi iko pale YouTube, but usiende saika tu venye nilikushow last week. Ngoja kwanza.
Bado tuko Murang'a County, nataka niwapeleke kwa mboka of the week mtu wangu.
But kumbuka social media zetu ni #ShujazKenya #Mbogitru. Facebook, Instagram na TikTok. Namba ya WhatsApp ni 0718921170.
Kumbuka wenye wako mtaa bado utatupata kwa Facebook, Instagram na TikTok @ShujazKenya.
Exactly. Alafu sasa tunatucheki manze Murang'a wanachapa mbokaji.
Naitwa Prezo, kwa ID ni Alex Joroge, mko mtaa Mkoyo, Murang'a County. Na deal na kuuza electronics. hii biashara ya electronic, mimi ni business partner, we are two. Aliyekuja na idea alianza mwaka wa 2015. Sasa na mimi nilimjoin 2020. Nilikuwa nafanya my own research, naangalia biashara za watu venye wanaendeleza biashara zao. Huyu sasa mwenye tulijoin na yeye nikampata, tukakuwa na maongezi, akanielezea what is needed. Unajua a long journey start with one step, na lazima ushikwe mkono ili uweze kuona hiyo njia. Ili niweze kuwa partner kwa hii biashara, nili offer ideas venye tunaweza expand the business, na pia nikatoa a certain capital. With your partner ni lazima muaminiane. Huwezi tafuta pia partner mwenye hamtaaminiana. Tafute partner mwenye mnasikizana. Urafiki ni lazima ikue yako na yeye, ili sasa biashara iweze kukua. Sisi kama partners tulifungua account where we deposit our money at the end, na pia I have to be, ni lazima nikue open kwake ili sasa na yeye aone pia, so that he can reciprocate the trust. Nisifanye vitu fishi chini ya maji na yeye ako straight, ako 2 feet. Kitu moja inaweza haribu pesa ya kijana ni madem. Hiyo ndio inaweza kuwa ya kwanza. Usikuwe na madem, ukuwe na dem moja tu, si wengi. Ingine ni urafiki. Unajua kuna marafiki wengine wanachukulia juu wao ni rafiki zako, biashara ni kama yao. So wanakuja wanachukua vitu zako, ukidhania watakulipa, wanaenda nazo. Kuna marafiki ambao mimi niko nao, wamekuwa marafiki wangu for a very long time, lakini wakaweka mademu wao mimba. That is, wengine maisha yao ilianzia kusambaratika juu hawako wamejipanga. Naona at this young age, sasa sisi unajua ni majenzi. So at this age mtu hajajipanga, ako ile ndo amemalizana mambo ya masomo, sasa ni kujaribu kungangana ajipange ili baadaye aoe. Sasa akajipata kwamba ameweka msichana mimba, so maisha yake inaanza kusambaratika hapo juu. Lazima ajaribu kutafuta vibarua, mara ameenda kwa mjei, mara amefanya nini, na pia hiyo mjengo haipatikani. So pia anageuka anakuja tu kuomba kwa marafiki wenzake. Kuna wenye wamesaidika juu kuna wenye waliwaweka mimba. So unaona hiyo ni familia imeletwa kwa nyumba yako, so wakapata akili. That is, wakaweza kufikiria sana, sawa wanafanya biashara multiple ili waweze ku bring something to the table. Ujanja yenye naweza pea mayouth wenye wako huko nje ni the first thing ni kwanza lazima mtu akuwe na principles. So you have to set your principles. Na hizo principles usizivunje. Si ati ukisema huwa silewi, ati tuende sherehe na mabeshte ulewe. Hapo umevunja principle yako. Kuna vitu zingine pia wewe huwezitaka kufanya. So principles zako zikuwe straight na zikuwe firm. Ingine ni invest in something. Investment huwa haidai. It doesn't die, That is, itakusaidia baadaye. Unaweza ona sasa hiyo nikaa haina matunda, lakini baadaye you will live big. Ujaja ingine pia kwa mayouthman wenye wanaogopa kupartner kwa biashara, unaweza partner, usiogope. No risk, no gain. Tafuta partner mwenye unaona ako na uwezo. Pia unajua unaangalia uwezo wa huyo partner mwenye unataka kupartner na yeye. So uangalie is he or she capable of what, na nikimuuzia hii idea ataichukulia aje ama ataiweza kuiembrace. So msiogope partnership. Partnership is very good. Borake tu muaminiane na kila kitu itakuwa tu sawa.
El Presidente, yani Prezo mwenyewe ashatuambia. Mnachiki venye mseni mjanja katika biashara zake.
Anaitwa Prezo ndani ya Murang'a County vile ashasema El Presidente, na kuna kitu moja ameongelea na imenibamba sana. Story ya partnership. Kwa unataka kuanzisha business na best yako, lazima muangalie factor ya research, transparency na kaje na honesty yenu itakuwaje mkipiga hiyo business.
Na msiogope kupartner up cause the more you are the more mtaenda mbali. Unacheki but kumbuka kwa biz lazima ukae ngumu. Usikuwe mse wa kupeana na raw soft. Manze utalia peke yako.
Manze lakini hiyo ndio shughuli yetu Kambo Getro kupeleka na rada hii process ya biz. Sasa nataka niwapeleke kwa what's trending tuone hii wiki ni nani alikuwa anazoza wewe.
Na I hope ndakuona manze. Changamkeni. Naambianga kila wiki manze. Hebu tuende tucheki.
Try the new Dunked All-Star Box for only 8.90 Kenyan shillings. Hope you're ready for the new star of the show. KFC, it's finger-licking good while stocks last.
Both of you are grown-ups. You knew what you were getting yourselves into. Now, act like grown-ups and face the consequences of what you've done. You have to marry Kelly.
Mom, Kelly and I have already talked. We're not getting married.
Their marriage doesn't seem like something you want.
But of course I don't want it. I mean, because I know Nikolai's stance on it.
Okay. Have you maybe fallen in love with him too?
What if I say that I will do everything so I can let go of these feelings? Will you come back here then? I've already accepted that. I can't be anything more than that. So I just want to let you know that I'll always be here if you need a friend.
Where did you come from?
Come with me. So this is where the magic happens. This is for you kids.
Taste the magic with our festive cakes from DPL Festive Bakery. Delight with every bite.
Tired of endless scrolling? Say goodbye to the chaos. Introducing the all-new Business Daily website. Experience seamless navigation. Immerse yourself in a world of more videos and more podcasts. Discover more with our enhanced home pages. Engage like never before with our interactive tools. Join us and elevate your reading experience today. Business Daily. More possibilities.
Get ready to tantalize your taste buds and embark on a culinary journey with Pishi Bomba, the ultimate cooking show that brings the flavors of the world right into your living room. Tune in this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. with me, Claire Karatu, for a mouth-watering adventure. Pishi Bomba. Cook, eat, enjoy.
The 2024 Rates Association of Kenya Conference is here from October 30th to November 1st in Naivasha. Register today and be part of this influential gathering. Visit rak.co.ke.
Love it when you make your summer bounce like a ball. Make me think it's so tall and tough like a wall. You pretty girl, it's a bad man I call. Make you fly high like a bird and drop down at all. Hey, tell your body good on it and mad me. Hey, thick mommy, pick it up on me. Hey, you something so tight it and grab me. Hey, anything miss you do it gladly. Love it when you make your summer bounce like a ball. Make me think it's so tall and tough like a wall. You pretty girl, it's a bad man I call. Make you fly high like a bird and drop down at all. Hey, tell your body good on it and mad me. Hey, thick mommy, pick it up on me. Hey, you something so tight it and grab me. Hey, anything miss you do it gladly. Love it when you make your summer bounce like a ball. Make me think it's so tall and tough like a wall. You pretty girl, it's a bad man I call. Make you fly high like a bird and drop down at all. Hey, tell your body good on it and mad me. Hey, thick mommy, pick it up on me. Hey, you something so tight it and grab me. Hey, anything miss you do it gladly. Love it when you make your summer bounce like a ball. Make me think it's so tall and tough like a wall. You pretty girl, it's a none at all. Hey, tell your body good on it and mad me. Hey, tip mommy, pick it up, bam me. Hey, you something so tight it can grab me. Hey, anything me say you do it gladly.
Wagon Mbogi True, bado tuko ndani ya Murang'a County na hiyo imekuwa trend of the week. Tuliwaambiaje Mbogi True, kona dai kudandia hizi ma challenge. To follow pale Instagram, Facebook na TikTok @shujaz_Kenya.
And speaking of social media, kama kawaida mkitucheki tumeketi, mnajua ni ile gedhaa. Kuna msee amekaa hapa hivi kwa Facebook yetu, ameuliza Maria Kim swali moja nyeti. Anasema, to you, dem amejipanga ni dem type gani? Na hiyo pia mimi naweza jibu, but Mbogi True, hebu tusikie mnasemaje. Mimi Nyiri amekamtua akasema, kama hauko ready, protection is the solution. Unaona? So kama uko ready, in short, kama uko ready kupata mtoi, kama uko ready kupata maugonjwa huku nje na vitu zingine mingi zu come through, cheza mafutani and make sure that you got this. Jipange. Hiyo inamaanisha umejipanga.
For sure, man.
Alafu Obadia amekam akasema mwenye ako na msimamo kwa boy child moja. Unacheki, hiyo bado ni healthy kwako ka dem. Na hiyo inaonyeshana umejipanga. So
mambo ya loyalty.
Manze. So thank you sana Mbogi True ku come through na hizo ma sentiments na tunatambua mbaya sana.
Na bado DJ Boyal kumuuliza swali lingine nyeti hapa, nasemaje, wewe hauwezi enda coast bila costume. Mbona uende kwa mpoa bila protection?
Kuna msee anaweza sema hata nunua coast.
Ati hata nunua coast.
Lakini Mbogi True inasemaje je story?
Wanajua kile tunajua tukiongelea costume. Haya, hapa champion fulani anaitwa Oleba Muriata anasema, mimi nilienda kwa wangu, kumbe ako nazo chini ya kitanda mingi, hata zingine zilikuwa zimetumika.
Sawa.
Awini is a win.
Bora anacheza mafutani.
bora mpoa anacheza mafutani kwa best. Mwingine hapa anaitwa Gen Z General anasema, protection muhimu sana, hiyo ni lazima. Sawa? Alafu kuna hapa mwingine anaitwa Gabriel Penetti anasema, usikisi endange bila. Ujui form inaweza tokea saa ngapi na hauna toolbox.
Manze, tembea na kijiko, unaweza pata politician anapeana machakula hapo hivyo za free kama venye tutaenda kucheki kwa Stra next episode.
Ni risk, umesema ni mheshimiwa.
Karibu nipatiane nichome.
Hamna pressure manze, lakini kinye tunamaanisha hapa mtu wangu, cheza mafutani brother. Kama unajua unaenda form na unaenda anywhere mtu wangu, inaitwa toolbox. Ushakwambia. Make sure umebeba toolbox yako, usiharibu future yako kwa vitu za dakika 2-3 hivi ni nini. Cheza mafutani, sawa?
Exactly. Na venye tu Sanchez amesema, make sure mnaingia kwa social media zetu, ulizeni maswali na next time maybe unaweza sikia jina lako kwa teli hapa hivi.
Said, tuko ndani ya Murang'a County, nataka tuende tuone talent ya huku ilikuwa inakaje, sawa?
Nayo.
Kwa majina naitwa Hilda Wambere, usanii naitwa Wambere Tsunami. Kwa mtaa tuko Murang'a County 021. Talanta yangu napenda kurap. Nimepika pingine ya kucheza gitaa. One time we were seated kwa kakija ketu, nilikuwa shule that time campus. So siku moja tulikuwa tumekaa ka sitting, kwa zile za kitambo nilikuwa napenda kukua singer, unacheki kina Beyonce pale with my alto voice. Anyway, so one time my song ikakuja ya kurap, nikarap. Niaje, mimi niko true, nafuatanga faith kwa wale wanauliza niaje. But my very first song yenye nilifanya nilitoa 2020 and it was actually over the phone. Kila mtu kwenye yako, tukatumia app na simu. We brought everything together and then it became a song, and that was my very first time. Ilikuwa a new avenue for me to venture into, and actually nilipenda, and it's going good. Niko na chede na bado mipango yani Rose mimi na Mohando tuko around kimoja kama bangle. Vile talanta yangu inanijenga ni kwa vile tuseme outlet, natafuta mahali kwa kuleta pressure yenye nimekuwa during the day ama whatever period I'm going through, naileta kama outlet. Unaona niko kwa ile creative space, niko so maybe kitu inanisumbua naileta through uandishi, ngoma hivyo ama pale ka gitaa hivyo, nikijaribu kujifunza hapa na pale. Niaje. So hii talent actually nimejaribu kuimonetize. It's not easy, and kumonetize for me nilisema acha itakuja baadaye, because nikianza kuipush all at once then nitasafa. Na hiyo kupush all at once is na iweka tu YouTube without doing the physical performances, because pia hiyo ujenga audience na performing na pia reach your content. Wazazi nao another block gatekeeper pale tuseme. But it will come soon. Ndio nasema nataka nianze kuplan how to monetize, and then probably passion itajileta along the way. Tuko around kimoja kama bango patanisho vitu marafiki zangu tuseme my peers wana struggle nazo ni usually the one common denominator, the fact that pia kuna majobs, wengine wanaenda wanafika pale masomo, pia pressure yenye wamekuwa nayo home, wanapata hitilafu kwa masomo but hawezi rudisha feedback kwa wazazi because they're too tough, they're this and that, so in up hawajamaliza course yao, so they don't have the certificates, and then kukuja home inakuwa a struggle. When you're na certificates pia the same struggle as you can see the past few weeks zenye zimepita. The struggle is there is that watu hawajaweza kufind a way kujisimamia, na hata kama wenye wako na talanta, not everyone has the means to anachukua pesa anaenda studio, hizo za to produce whatever akona talent yake, unaona. So wanaenda kwa pombe, wako pale outlet nini na kuambaya, and then they don't admit that they have a problem, so inaenda in accumulate and what not. Effect naweza sema yenye nimeona ni wasanii wengi of course wameingia pale into fame, and that's a win, because the more people know you, the more you'll get hours to your content, that's very good, because utapata hiyo audience na all additional new audience wengine wapya. And the downside is sasa kila mtu anakuweka ile high bar, ako pale na anataka maintain, you are this perfect god, anataka uwezi kuwa na hakuna kitu mbaya inaweza kuhapenia, unaona. And tena ikifika ni relationship, tuseme mpoa wako zile za na wasichana wanakuguza sipendi, unaona. So wako zile za so ingine inakuwa like a loss for going through that, and as much as happening, the worst thing that happens is people always assume either the worst or the best, and that's a lot of pressure ukiwa that's a certain that degree ukifika your level ya huyo msanii mwenye amefika your level. Final word naweza taka kusema in as much as this world hii dunia iko na mambo mengi, tutafute the small spaces yenye unaweza kuwa una find happiness in them, and then you stick with them, you carry with them, such that even if you fall down you continue smiling. Yeah, so just dust yourself up, get up, keep smiling, continue the journey and be hopeful. Wakurada ni madanda nilibolsa ina wacheza kaka danda, nina vision kama wanda, hakuna kujiseti chorea kama namba.
Alo Mbogi True, huyo anaitwa Tsunami mwenyewe. Umecheki vile udem ni rapa wewe?
Vibaya sana, na mimi napenda kucheki wasanii cause pia mimi ni msanii.
Kwanza historia ya usanii leo lazima utatufanyia freestyle. Sio Mbogi True?
Of course lazima ndawafanyia. Why not?
Say less fam.
Lakini udem amenibamba sana cause anatuonyesha manze mental health ni muhimu, na vile tunaambianga manze kuna resources za free, na one of the trusted resources kuna kitu inaitwa LVCT. Wadungie manze, usiwahi kuwa peke yako, na namba yetu ya WhatsApp pia iko pale, inaweza wasaidia.
Ndio hiyo namba yetu ya WhatsApp ni 0718921170, ama kama unatumia SMS tutapata kwa 20308. Make sure SMS yako imeanza na #MbogiTrue, na kwa hiyo mata ya kufunguka roho, confess your feelings. Nataka tuende tusikize matters of the heart. This week kulikuwa kuna kaje, si ndio?
Nayo Auntie E na Uncle Sasino. Nasemaje leo?
Karibuni sana. Hii ni section ya funguka roho, mambo za mapenzi, mambo za relationships na story pia za life. Mimi ni Auntie E na
mimi ni Sasino,
na tuko hapa kuchapiana na nyinyi kuhusu maswali ambazo umetuma kwa mtandao. Swali ya kwanza leo, Sasino utaisoma?
Ninaweza soma.
nina shida, niko na mimba ya mtu ambaye sioni kama tutaishi na yeye, hatujakaa kwa muda, nifanyaje? Advice.
Hapa already Mresh umesema huoni kama ni mtu unaweza kaa na yeye. Nini, kuna vitu pengine umeona kwa hiyo relationship ama kwa huyo mtu ambazo hazikupendezi. So mambo ni mawili hapa. Ya kwanza, kama unataka kureconsider kukaa na huyu mtu, kaa chini na yeye na muongee. Mwambie hizi ndizo issue zangu kwa hii relationship, hizi ndizo vitu si feel na mimi naweza taka uchange. Ukiona kama hataki kuchange, basi uta make decision yako hapo. Na ukiamua utaki kukaa na yeye, mimi nasema tu kanyaga kubwa kubwa na uendelee na maisha yako. But ukikanyaga, ujue sasa juu uko na ball, uko peke yako. Kuwa na hiyo mental framework, umanage stress yako na uweze kubuild a support system. Na one of the ways unaweza fanya hivyo ni kuvisit LVCT, hiyo ni digital platform. Uchekika kuna mtu hapo mnaweza chapiana, muongee kuhusu hiyo situation uko, akupatie mental support, unaweza pata hata counseling na ujue vile maisha yako itaendelea peke yako. Mimi ndivyo naweza kuchapia Mresh, uko sawa?
Ndio. Na rada ni true. Tunaendelea tu kuweza kusaidiana, tuweze kujua ni nini tunaweza fanya pamoja. Jua tu hauko peke yako mahali popote ulipo.
Niko na swali.
Yes.
Nisome?
Tusome tafadhali.
Sawa. I have 2 boyfriends na napenda mmoja. But nashinda kuambia huyo mwingine ati simpendi. Nifanye nini?
Na hii ni normal. Si kitu different, si wewe peke yako unapitia. Watu wengi wanajipatanga kwa hii situation. Asanti kwa kuwa na hiyo courage ya kuweza kuuliza. So yangu ni very simple. Lazima useme. Ni important uweze ku-release huyo mtu na pia wewe utajieka huru. Uweze tu kujua that hizi vitu zenye una feel ni za ukweli. Na the more unakaa nayo hakuna kitu ita change. Na kuweza kudecide is the biggest thing unaweza jifanyia. Uweze tu kujua nimeamua ni huyu nitakaa na yeye, na uambie huyo mwingine pole. Mwambie tu kwa uzuri, ikuwe tu roho safi na kila mtu aende njia yake. Hakuna haja ya kuweka na bampa.
Ni ukweli na hakuna haja ya kukalisha mtu hapo na haumpendi. Juu hata anyway mkianza kurelate haitawaka kama umpendi. So mrelease tu, usimwestie time na wewe ukule maisha yako vile unaitaka.
Waendelee kututumia maswali.
Waendelee kututumia maswali na as kawaida tuko na WhatsApp line. Hiyo line ni 0718921170. Na wale hawana mobile data ama wale hawana ka smartphone wanaweza tumia SMS code yetu 20308. Tuna looking forward sana kusoma hizi maswali zenyu. Every week tunakaanga chini, tunasoma maswali zenyu na tunafurahia na kuchapiana na nyinyi. So endeleeni ku reach out.
Funguka roho. It is. Asante sana.
Madam, mimi naweza sema tu maybe release that guy kama uko na options mbili, release tu mmoja roho safi.
We always say this time and again, kama hautaki kusettle na mtu, muachilie tu. Just release them. Sawa.
But option B unaweza enda South Africa because guess what? Wana allow them kuoa machali wawili. So unaweza pia enda huko.
Subject to confirmation. Sawa.
No, it's true. They legalized it last year. So kama ni cha hivyo enda South Africa, but otherwise release the guy.
Anyway, kama bado uko na hizo vitu zenye ziko corona unataka kuzirelease mtu wangu, tupate kwa WhatsApp namba yetu 0718921170 ama kani SMS time and again 20308. Make sure SMS imeanza na hashtag #MbogiTrue.
Na ni free of charge. Na sababu tuko Murang'a Sanchez.
Hello.
Shosho.
Hello.
First of all, let me give a shout out kwa shosho yangu manze. Shosho ukiwa pale Shosho Wadhage. Karibu niongee Kikuyu. This one is for you. Kaa uko pale nyumbani manze, translatea Shosho wewe Wadhage, hebu ambia Shosho nimemwambia nampenda sana.
Wagwan, Mike iko kwa street, twende watu wangu.
Nayo.
Uhoro wanyu andũ a Kenya.
Murega. Kwa majina ni Joseph Mwangi.
Murega. Kwa majina naitwa Maureen from Murang'a.
Kwa majina ni John Keroa.
Kwa majina naitwa Ann Wanjiro Mureithi.
Kwa majina naitwa Margaret.
Ningependa kusalimia mamangu akiwa huku na bradhangu na rafiki yangu Stacy akiwa Ruiru na Rose akiwa Gilgil. Keep it locked to Shuja's TV.
Ningetaka kubig up babangu akiwa tu huko Murang'a, mamangu akiwa Kanairo, majandhiri wote wa huku Kenya. Big up sana, nawapenda.
Nataka kusalimia mamangu, brother yangu na sister yangu na watu wa huku Murang'a County.
Ningetaka kusalimia mamangu, babangu, katoto kangu kakiwa kamelala hapa, nimekusalimia. Wote wako huku Murang'a na muendelee kuwatch Shujaa TV.
I would like to greet my mom akiwa side za Maimaio, my husband plays ako job, na my shosh akiwa Kiambu. Keep it locked, Shujaa TV.
Tuendelee tu kutazama Shujaa TV. Tunawapenda sana na tunawatambua na tunawanauo.
Wasi wa Murang'a mmeni nice. Nika nimecheki kuzo wangu hapo hivyo.
Walai.
Maybe tunafanya wote sijui.
Anyway, hiyo ndo shout out kwa assistant wangu. Tuliwaambia hii mic ikifika hapo, wewe chukua big up ataka ni sub chief. Big up mtoto anataka ku big up, sawa? Anyway, juu sisi tuko Murang'a na tupendi uongo kambo gitru. Tumia hii kamera. Ile freestyle. Ile freestyle uli promise. Twende hapo sana.
Missy Magi, I'm just keeping it real na wagasi miss but baby na kumiss.
Sawa. Anyway, the episode has come to the very end. Tuna appreciate kila msee mwenye alikuwa ametune in mtu wangu. Unaweza tupata on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram na TikTok @Shujaz Kenya.
Alafu pale WhatsApp namba yetu ni 0718921170. Nidungie sasa manze, tuambie show ilikuaje manze. Na umetucheki kutoka wapi? Next time kumbukeni tunaweza kama mtaa yenu.
Na wale wa simu ya kubonyeza ama katulituli utatupata kwa 20308, hiyo ndo SMS number. Make sure SMS imeanza na #MbogiTrue.
Manze ndo tukucheki. Alafu kumbukeni manze show imekam to an end next week Wednesday kutoka saa 4 usiku mpaka 11 PM manze, kama saa tu. Join us manze, usikose.
Exactly. Na bado kesho Thursday usiku sako from 7 to 9 PM utakuwa na Amona Wabere pale Nation FM wakikuletea the same vibes na mangoma deadly.
Manze watu wa Morema, at the end of the day.
The day has ended watu wa Morema. Mimi ni host wako Sanchez Mali.
Bad girl Eviona. Tutachikiana baadaye.
Holland.
Next week Wednesday. Nakuja kunywa chai shosh. Manze mimi napendanga sana kucheki wasanii cause pia mimi ni masanii.
Hata umenikumbusha wewe ni msanii.
Nikasema
Kwa hivyo
masanii. Mimi ni masanii.
Haya let's.
Murang'a. Kwa majina ni Joseph Mwangi. Nataka kusalimia mamangu, brother yangu, sister yangu na watu wote wa huku Murang'a. Keep it locked, NTV, Shujaa NTV.
Crowned by Skytrax 15 years in a row. Yep, we've taken over 500 million of you to places. All thanks to our dedicated All-Stars and you.
Reach your audience instantly and make a lasting impression with Nation Sema. Affordable bulk SMS at 0.3 Kenya shillings. Own sender ID for 10,000 Kenya shillings plus 10,000 free messages. To sign up, please call 0728434979 or email us on mkibunja@ke.nationmedia.com.
Angela is pregnant?
Yes, she is, sir.
Is Alvaro's or Leonardo's?
It's Mr. Alvaro's.
The last thing I want is to have a baby with Angela. Goodness.
I mean, you don't even know if it's yours.
It's my baby, of course. Who else would it be?
It could be Leonardo's.
No way, she barely knows that guy.
You don't have the slightest idea about the situation. You don't know that Alvaro has a wife, do you?
He has now. But what about later on?
Listen, you must learn to play your cards for the long term, just like I do. Cleverness should be your only guide. And soon, Leonardo will fall for you. You almost have him.
You are the one.
Where did you come from?
Come with me. So this is where the magic happens. This is for you kids.
Taste the magic with our festive cakes from DPL Festive Bakery. Delight with every bite.
Every journey has its milestones, and each step you take reflects your confidence, resilience, and unwavering focus. And amidst the chaos, You've carved out your own path, defying the odds and inspiring those around you. You've overcome challenges and made your mark. Your story is a testament to innovation, leadership, and impact. It deserves recognition. Nominate yourself or someone who embodies greatness for the Business Daily Top 40 Under 40 Men 2024 title today. Visit top40.bdafrica.com to submit your nomination.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Ready to have your mind blown.
Kanadia Katame na niko ndani ya kwetu mix on NTV naye mtu mkali zaidi anaitwa Ted Abu.
We're bringing you the hottest